So you have a pretty good idea of who you want to grab in the first round. That's not an issue for you. The challenge is the second round of your fantasy basketball draft. You can't figure out who you should pick. In this episode, we're going to run down the rankings for the second round players for fantasy basketball. We believe every NBA fan should play fantasy basketball. So here we are on my personal points league rankings. What we're going to do is we're going to run down my rankings. We're also going to look at hashtag basketball projections to kind of compare what I have against theirs. And then last thing, we're going to do some player comparisons for some of these key second round fantasy basketball players. So at the top of the second round? Come on, man. Is your boy Devin Booker. I am absolutely crazy high on Devin Booker. I am like K2 bath salt high on Devin Booker. He is my guy, somebody I'm definitely targeting in that second round area. I'm not going crazy like grabbing him in the first round, but let's see where hashtag basketball has him. So hashtag basketball is a little lower on Devin Booker. They have him down here projected at number 17 for points leagues according to their standards. Now I get it. There is some concerns about Devin Booker. I don't have any of them. Kevin Durant leaving town. You know what I mean? It's nothing but a runway of opportunity for this guy. They're projecting that he averages 26.5 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 7.6 assists, which is insane. So for me, he's going to be the key distributor, the key scorer. I have no doubt in my mind that this guy is going to return early second round value, and he might even creep into that back end first round value for points leagues. Another player I'm very interested in for the second round is Paolo Banchero. So I want to do a quick head-to-head matchup to see how these players compare. When you're making those tough decisions, you could have some resources like this to kind of guide you through. So we have Devin Booker here versus Paolo Banchero. As you can see here, they have Paolo winning the points category. They have Paolo winning the rebound category. And then they have Devin Booker absolutely obliterating Paolo in just about every other category. Assists, turnovers. Well, maybe that's not a positive thing. True shooting percentage. We have 2-point shooting percentage. Free throws. Right on down the line, it appears as if in a head-to-head matchup that you really want to take a look at Devin Booker over Paolo, according to this data. Now let's run down the next four players on my rankings. Number 14 on my rankings, Tyrese Maxey. Now Tyrese was going off the board in the first round early in this offseason when we talk about mock drafts. Now we're seeing him kind of settle into this second round area, and I think we need to monitor that as we get closer to the season. Number 15 on my list is Paolo Banchero. I am crazy high on Paolo, and I think he's going to have a great season. It's worth noting that Desmond Bane arriving to town may have an impact on Paolo. I don't know if it's going to be a significant impact on his points, but it's worth paying attention to, especially early on in the season, to see how they play together. Number 16 is LeBron, father of time James. This guy consistently puts up crazy points leagues numbers. It's wild, y'all. I'm just kind of shaking my head. We've never seen anything like this in the history of the NBA. And I think this year, especially if Luka comes in as slim and trim as we're seeing him, that he's going to lighten the load for LeBron and allow him to shine in new and exciting ways. And number 17 is Kevin Durant. Now, we want to talk more about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is landing in a brand new system in Houston. One thing I'll say about Ime Udoka is that he does not give a shih tzu puppy. If he has a star, if he has somebody that he know will be consistent, he's going to push usage, push minutes towards them. And Kevin Durant is one of the best ever when it comes to putting the basketball in a daggone hoop. So don't think about Amen Thompson, these younger guys on the team, Fred VanVleet, all of these veterans, Dylan Brooks. Don't worry about that. Worry about the fact that wherever you place Kevin Durant, he's going to put up extremely high fantasy basketball numbers. Let's quickly take a look at where hashtag basketball has Kevin Durant projected for next season. Hashtag basketball is way lower on Kevin Durant than I am. They have him down here at number 27. So I I can't buy that. I don't think that he will perform, at a third round level. I just don't see it happening. Maybe the middle of the second, late second. I think where I have him is pretty fair, but I totally disagree with this. And again, this is probably generated with, just projections for his numbers. It's not really taking into consideration the fabric of who he is as a player. And I don't imagine for points leagues that Kevin Durant is going to finish behind players like John Morant and Donovan Mitchell. I think he's going to be higher than that. And I would pay attention to it because if your league mates are using projections like this could lead to an opportunity for you. Now, let's quickly do a comparison between Kevin Durant and LeBron James. So we're back on Data Baller and we have LeBron James and Kevin Durant pulled up. We want to take a look and see how they match up head to head. So first up for scoring, obviously, KD is crushing it. It looks like for rebounds and assists that LeBron is higher. And that's worth noting because although KD is winning in the points category, and we're talking points league content right now, it's only by 2 points, 2.2 points, where with the rebounds and assists, that kind of compounds. And in most standard points leagues, your rebounds and your assists are going to be weighted a little heavier, especially the assists, right? So you really want to pay attention to that. Everything else, it looks like Kevin Durant is absolutely crushing it. So I'm a little bit higher on the King here, but again, it's marginal. It's just by one place. I have the difference between these two players for points leagues, and you can probably switch them around depending on any news that we get. So for me, I think this is a great head-to-head matchup, but I'm going to take LeBron James here. So now let's run down numbers 18 through 24. At 18, we have Jalen Brunson. I might have him lower than this. I might need to make an adjustment. It doesn't kind of hit the right way. So I have him at 18 right now, but I think that might go down. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Tom Thibodeau is out of town. We got a new coach in town, Mike Brown, and I imagine that he won't run Jalen Brunson down to the cartilage disappearing on his knees. So I think that we might see a regression from Jalen Brunson. Next up at 19, we have Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry is getting slept on right now. So for me, I think that's tons of value grabbing him here in the second round. Now, this is a player that people are so low on for category leagues, for points leagues, for roto leagues, for lock-in mode leagues, daggone best ball leagues. LaMelo Ball is getting slept on like a blow-up mattress. And I'm telling you, if you can get him at the back end of your second round, and if you want to even be risky and go in the middle of the second round, I'd be okay with that. But I know there's an injury risk here with LaMelo Ball, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. If he actually plays and he's healthy, if you can get 60 games out of LaMelo Ball, we're talking about potential first round value here in the late second, even early third round, we're seeing him go. Hashtag basketball has LaMelo Ball at 14. So they're a little higher than me on this. But if you look at their ADP data, you can see that he's going way lower on most platforms. If you're new around here, I'm Robin Marks. I used to work for NBC Sports Roto World, hashtag basketball. Now I work for you. Call me your personal fantasy basketball analyst. After LaMelo Ball, we have Jalen Williams. I love Jalen Williams at the back end of the second round. Then at number 22, we have Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, I saw him go in the third round recently in a fantasy basketball mock draft. So people believe that he's going to have a continued regression. We saw a slight regression last season, and people believe that he's not going to be a second round guy anymore. For me, I disagree with that. I think at the back end of your second round, he's a fine option. Then we have at 23, Scotty Barnes. I think people are a little lower on Scotty Barnes than I am, but I could be wrong. I think here at 23 for Scotty Barnes is completely fine in a points league. And another player I am just super high on, Evan Mobley at 24. I have Chet at the top of the third round. I might even move Chet up a little bit, but I love Evan Mobley here at 24 in the second round. If you've seen some of the footage of him online, he's doing all kinds of crazy workouts right now on the beach. He's bulking up. So for me, I think Evan Mobley is primed to have a career year. Now that you know who to draft in the second round of your draft, check out this episode so you can find some deep sleepers.